Every excuse you come up with, every time you tell yourself, maybe later, every moment you choose comfort over growth, you lock yourself into the same life you say you want to escape. The hard truth is that the people who completely change their lives are not luckier, not more talented, not secretly handed better cards. They just refuse to keep bargaining with their own greatness. Picture opening your eyes tomorrow morning and being the exact version of yourself you always imagined. No more holding yourself back, no more shrinking to make others comfortable, no more wasting time pretending you're not capable of more. Just full, relentless commitment to becoming the person you've always known was inside you. In a moment, you're going to hear a set of principles so raw and uncompromising that they draw a line between people who just fantasize and people who actually transform. These aren't gentle suggestions. They're the wake-up calls you've been waiting for. When you put them into practice, you'll barely recognize the old version of yourself. It will feel like that old self had to die so the new one could finally live. Your biggest obstacle isn't failure, it isn't criticism, it isn't even fear. It's the grip you keep on the identity you've been dragging around for years. You cling to who you think you are like someone clutching a life raft, not realizing it's actually what's keeping you stuck in the same place. You've spent so long telling yourself stories about why you can't change, why you're shy, why you're lazy, why you don't have what it takes, that you've started to treat those stories like facts carved in stone. They're not facts. They're just repetitions that became habits, and those habits became chains. You can break them, but you have to be willing to let go of every old label, every excuse, every role other people expect you to play. Imagine realizing that every limitation you think you have is something you taught yourself to believe. That idea alone is enough to shatter your old cage. The most remarkable people in history weren't born special. They just refused to stay who they were yesterday. They understood that identity is flexible. You are not locked into your past. You are not condemned to live out the story you were given as a child. You are not the mistakes you've made, the failures you've endured, or the opinions that others have about you. You are a blank slate every single day, and you can choose who you want to be starting right now. This is where most people get it wrong. They try to ease their way into change, softly, carefully, in a way that doesn't disrupt anything. But that doesn't work. You cannot tiptoe your way into a new life. You must burn the bridge back to the old one so completely that retreat is no longer an option. Your old self is like an outfit that no longer fits, but you keep wearing because it's familiar. Every day you wake up and put on the same mindset, the same fears, the same thought patterns. You go through the motions because it feels normal. But normal is exactly what's suffocating you. Stop telling your life story like it's a permanent label. Stop announcing to everyone who you used to be. When people ask about you, don't deliver a list of your flaws and failures. Speak about who you're becoming. Make decisions like that future version of you would make. Show up like they would show up. Of course, your old identity will scream for survival. It will whisper that you're being fake, that you're just pretending, that you'll fall flat like every other time you tried. Ignore it. That voice is fear disguising itself as reason. That voice wants to keep you safe, small, predictable. Growth will feel strange. It will feel like you're peeling off a layer of skin, but that's exactly how transformation is supposed to feel. Most people go through their entire lives recycling the same identity they built in their childhood, letting old wounds and other people's opinions decide everything about them. Don't be like them. Every morning you wake up, you are presented with a choice: keep living as yesterday's version or step into the person you know you can be. The version of you who failed last year does not have to be the one who shows up this year. The version of you who doubted themselves yesterday doesn't have to show up today. You don't erase who you were because it was bad. You erase who you were because the next stage of your life deserves a completely different you. Stop living like you need permission to be yourself. Too many people go through life like they're still in school, waiting for someone to sign off on their dreams before they chase them. They won't take the risk until someone says it's okay. They won't speak up until someone tells them it's safe. That ends right now. No one is going to come along and grant you the green light to become great. Your family won't do it. Your friends won't do it. Society definitely won't do it. Everyone is too busy worrying about their own survival to hand you a permission slip. And here's the twist. Once you see that nobody's approval is required, it's liberating. You realize that the only vote that counts is your own. Think about every time you let an opportunity pass you by. Think about the times you waited and waited because you told yourself it wasn't the right moment yet. If you're honest, you weren't waiting for timing. You were waiting for someone else to tell you it was acceptable. Most people live as though they need to check with the world before they dare to want something. They wait for their boss to validate them, their family to back them, their friends to cheer them on. And while they're waiting, someone else is out there building the exact life they only talk about. Your life is not a committee decision. You don't need to collect votes before you take action. And truthfully, most of the people whose opinions you fear aren't doing anything remarkable anyway. So why let them decide what's possible for you? From this point forward, make choices as if no one else's opinion even exists. Stop asking. Stop hesitating. Stop explaining. Act. The future version of you doesn't look around for approval. They move. And they deal with the consequences as they come. Start looking for discomfort on purpose, because comfort is quietly killing your potential. Every day you take the easy way out, you're voting for the current version of yourself to stay in charge. Growth never happens in the warm, safe, familiar space. It happens on the edge of fear. The moment where you think, I don't know if I can do this. Most people run from that feeling like it's danger. They dodge tough conversations, avoid taking risks, keep repeating the same patterns because uncertainty feels worse than staying stuck. But that feeling is your compass. That nervous energy before a big leap isn't a stop sign. It's the clearest sign that you're about to level up. Your mind's main job is survival, not success. So it will always try to steer you back to what feels known. Even if what's known is misery, you have to push through that reflex again and again until it becomes your new habit. Start choosing the path that scares you a little. Get up earlier than you feel like. Speak the truth you've been avoiding. Take on the challenge that makes your stomach flip. Every time you do this, you're casting a vote for the person you want to be. Muscles don't grow when they're comfortable. They grow when you push them past what they thought was possible. Your courage, your confidence, your discipline work the exact same way. Most people live inside a bubble of safety until they die. They stay in jobs that drain them, keep quiet when they should speak up, hang around people who don't support them because finding new friends feels awkward. The strange thing is that once you practice discomfort enough times, it stops feeling terrifying. What was once impossible becomes manageable. What was once scary becomes normal. And that's how you grow. Cut out the people who poison your energy and do it without feeling guilty. You inevitably become like the handful of people you spend the most time with. So look around carefully. Do these people reflect where you want to go? Or are they happy seeing you stuck because it keeps them from facing their own mediocrity? Loyalty does not mean sacrificing your own future for the sake of keeping someone around. Some people are not meant to be lifelong companions. They were just meant to teach you something for a season. Keeping them around past their season is like trying to drive forward while staring only at the rearview mirror. Every person around you is either fueling your fire or pouring water on it. No one is neutral. The friend who is always in chaos, always negative, is teaching your brain to see the world through chaos. The family member who criticizes every move is teaching you to question yourself. The coworker who complains nonstop is training you to focus on problems instead of solutions. You are not obligated to carry any of them with you. You do not owe explanations. The second someone consistently drains you more than they lift you, they forfeit their place in your circle. Think about the people who exhaust you. Do you leave their presence feeling inspired or defeated? Do they cheer when you win, or do they subtly hope you fail so they don't feel left behind? Some people thrive on keeping you small because it makes them feel bigger. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's an act of survival. The future you are building needs an environment that feeds growth, not one that celebrates staying average. Walking away from the wrong people is sometimes the kindest thing you can do for both of you. You may feel guilty at first, but remember, they would not hesitate to pull you down if it made them more comfortable. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you to a higher standard. Your energy is a limited resource. Spend it wisely. And finally, stop drowning in endless analysis and learn to make decisions at the speed of instinct. You've wasted too many hours turning simple choices into unsolvable equations. While you're polishing your plans, someone else is out there learning from action. Quick, imperfect execution will always beat perfect hesitation. That gut feeling you get in the first few seconds, that's ancient wisdom, millions of years of evolution trying to guide you. You've just been trained to ignore it. The future version of you doesn't need more research. They need action. They understand that moving forward is worth more than waiting for certainty. Take the opportunity that feels right and start today, not tomorrow. End the relationship that is obviously wrong. Launch the idea you've been overthinking. Most of your choices can be adjusted later. Very few are permanent. What cost you the most is not mistakes. It's the time you'll never get back because you were paralyzed trying to be perfect. Overthinking is just fear dressed up as responsibility. Most regrets people carry are not about the things they did. They're about the chances they never took. People rarely lose sleep over the words they spoke, but over the ones they swallowed. They don't ache over the journeys they took, but over the adventures they postponed until it was too late. They don't regret the leaps they made, but the ones they avoided. Whenever you feel a deep tug in your chest about something, that's your inner compass pointing the way. It's not random. It's built from countless bits of data your conscious mind can't possibly analyze in time. It's catching subtle clues, tiny patterns, and hidden truths before your logic has finished assembling a case. Yet instead of trusting that inner signal, most people argue with it. They make endless lists of pros and cons, seek advice from every friend they know, and debate until the moment has already passed. By the time they're ready, someone else has grabbed the job, the person they liked has moved on, or the idea they were sitting on is already a thriving business owned by somebody who refused to wait for ideal circumstances. Life favors those who take imperfect action and adjust as they go rather than those who obsess about flawless plans and never start. Ask any high achiever, and you'll hear the same story. Their smartest moves were made fast with limited information, while their worst mistakes were often the result of overthinking and hesitation. You have to believe in yourself enough to act quickly. Believe in yourself enough to screw up and recover. Believe that even if you get it wrong, you'll be able to figure things out because you've done exactly that every single time before. The version of you that you dream of becoming isn't frozen in indecision. They're moving forward, learning from each misstep, pivoting when necessary, but always in motion. Stop waiting for some mythical perfect clarity. It's not coming. Stop expecting certainty. It doesn't exist. Begin following that inner voice that already knows where you should go. Treat your failures like badges of honor. Stop pretending they didn't happen. Stop burying them like secrets. Every mark of defeat is proof that you were present, that you stepped into the arena. Each time you fail, it shows you weren't just sitting in the stands watching others live. You were in the fight yourself. Society has convinced you that failing is shameful, that mistakes lower your value, that you should highlight only the moments when you succeeded. That belief is backward. Failure is your RA sum A. It shows you've been tested. The people you most admire aren't those who tiptoed through life without falling. They're the ones who stumbled spectacularly, got back up, and kept moving. They speak openly about their mistakes because they understand something that most miss. Failure is simply feedback. It's information that points you closer to what actually works. Starting right now, take full ownership of every time you fell short. Stop explaining it away. Stop blaming bad luck or someone else's actions. Stop minimizing it. Instead, say, I gave it a shot. It didn't go the way I hoped. Here's what I took from the experience. Watch how this shift transforms how others see you and how you see yourself. People will respect you more because they can see you're honest and brave enough to risk being wrong. Someone who has never failed is someone who has never tried anything that mattered. The future version of you you're aiming to become, they've racked up more failures than your current self has even dared to attempt. They don't fear mistakes anymore because they know each one is a stepping stone toward mastery. Think about how you learned to walk. You didn't stop after your first fall and decide you were doomed to crawl forever. You fell again and again, each time adjusting, until one day you were walking effortlessly. Stop trying to keep your record clean. Start filling it with attempts, experiments, leaps of faith. The most accomplished people alive have a mountain of failures behind them, but they also have a mountain of comebacks. When you fall, don't hide it. Share it. Teach others what it taught you. Show that failure isn't a dead end, it's just the middle chapter that eventually leads to a better ending. Do your work quietly until the results are so obvious that everyone notices. Quit bragging about what you're going to do. Quit posting every new plan for applause. Quit leaking your motivation by talking instead of building. Every time you tell someone about a goal you haven't achieved yet, you rob yourself of some of the tension that would have pushed you forward. Your brain tricks you into feeling accomplished just by talking about it, and that fake sense of progress slows you down. The people who quietly create massive change don't warn anyone ahead of time. They just do the work, and by the time you notice, they're already miles ahead. Adopt the same approach. Work like no one's paying attention. Build your dreams when no one is watching. Push yourself like your life depends on it, and do it without seeking applause. Let your finished product be your announcement. This isn't about hiding things from friends or being secretive. It's about preserving your focus and energy. When you stop broadcasting your plans, you remove distractions, and you stop performing just to look busy. You stop wasting time on approval and spend that time actually producing something real. Most people do the exact opposite. They talk endlessly about their new routines, projects, and intentions, then abandon them when things get hard. Don't do that. Protect your ambition by keeping it private until you have proof to show. Every minute you'd spend explaining your vision is a minute you could spend executing it. Think of the people who blew you away with what they accomplished. They rarely warned you ahead of time. Their results spoke for them. When you work silently, you also protect yourself from negativity. Some people will discourage you or try to shrink your ambition because it reminds them of what they're not doing. Your future self doesn't rely on external cheerleaders. They keep going regardless of who notices. The process itself becomes the reward, and everyone else's opinions become irrelevant. Stop performing ambition and start embodying it. Work through the night while others complain, build while others gossip, improve while others procrastinate. Then let the world find out only when your success is too big to ignore. Hold yourself to the highest standard before anyone else has the chance to. Don't wait for a boss to push you or a mentor to hold you accountable. Don't depend on pressure from outside to dictate how hard you work. The best version of you holds such a high bar for yourself that other people's expectations feel laughably low by comparison. You've probably been cutting yourself slack, accepting good enough, even though you know you're capable of much more. You've been letting yourself slide in ways you'd never tolerate from someone else. That stops here. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards performance. Nobody cares what you could do. They care what you actually deliver. Set your standards so high that mediocrity feels unbearable. Treat ordinary effort as if it's failure. Create enough internal pressure that external pressure no longer matters. When you write something, rewrite it until it's excellent even if no one will read it. When you exercise, finish the last rep even if no one's watching. Keep promises to yourself no matter how small they are. Treat your own goals with the same seriousness you would if millions were on the line. Most people work only hard enough not to get in trouble. They save their best effort for when someone is grading them. That's why they stay ordinary. The people who accomplish extraordinary things demand excellence from themselves, whether anyone is looking or not. They hold themselves to a level where anything less than their best feels wrong. And when you start doing this, people will notice. They'll see that you care about quality in a way that's rare. They'll trust you because you keep showing up and getting better without being told. More importantly, you'll start trusting yourself. You'll build the quiet confidence that comes from consistently showing up with full effort. This isn't about perfection. It's about giving your best, learning from mistakes, and coming back stronger. Your future self doesn't settle for what competitors are doing. They compete with their own highest standards every single day. Right now, look at the task in front of you and ask if it represents your best. If not, keep going until it does. Finally, think beyond today while everyone else chases instant results. Most people are addicted to speed. They want transformations overnight, results without the grind, a new life with zero sacrifice. They get excited for a week, then quit when the reward doesn't show up fast enough. You need to do the opposite. Build for decades, not for days. The person you want to become won't be built in a month or even a year. They're forged through thousands of tiny choices, relentless effort over time, and patience when progress feels invisible. This truth scares most people, which is why they never commit to it, and that's your advantage. While everyone else quits after a few tries, you'll keep going. While they bounce from fad to fad, hoping for shortcuts, you'll stick to fundamentals. While they demand quick wins, you'll quietly do the unglamorous work that actually produces real change. Picture yourself 10 years from now, not just what you have, but who you are, how you think, how you carry yourself. Then work backwards. Every choice you make today is either bringing you closer to that version or pulling you away. Skipping today's workout isn't just about today's comfort, it's shaping who you'll be a decade from now. Putting off that book, avoiding that difficult conversation, ignoring that opportunity, these are small decisions that add up into a completely different future. The world has trained you to measure progress in weeks and months. But that's exactly why most people never build anything lasting. Stop thinking in the short term. Start thinking in decades. Your future self doesn't care about looking successful right now. They care about becoming the kind of person who will stay successful forever. Slow, steady progress wins every single time over fast, flashy failure. Consider the stories of overnight success you've heard. Behind almost all of them are years of invisible work. This mindset demands faith in a future you can't yet see and commitment, even when there's no reward or applause. It means showing up day after day when no one notices and continuing to plant seeds anyway. But once you embrace this, the panic goes away. You're no longer racing some imaginary clock. You're just improving piece by piece, letting time work in your favor. This patience becomes your superpower. While others burn out, you endure. While others get discouraged, you get sharper. While others keep starting over, you keep building. And that consistency compounds into results that look impossible to those who only think short term. 30 minutes of reading every day may seem small, but after years it creates wisdom that most never acquire. Regular exercise might feel slow at first, but over time it builds health and strength that become priceless. Slight improvements in kindness, reliability, and generosity accumulate into relationships so strong that people trust you completely. That trust becomes one of your most valuable assets. You have two choices: wait for the perfect moment that never arrives, or start right now with what you have. Begin messy, begin unprepared, begin imperfect, but begin. Your future self isn't waiting. They're already in motion, already improving, already living the life you want. The only question left is whether you'll join them or spend another year wondering what would have happened if you had.